Hello children, welcome to AIMS India's live class session. And today we are going to talk about the sentence in the English grammar. So what we are going to learn? We are going to learn about the sentence. So on the screen you can see a monkey with a big mic, and what it is doing, it is giving an announcement of something. So it is announcing that the lion killed the jackal. Listen one and all, the lion killed the jackal. After hearing this, there was a conversation between an owl and a crow. So what they are discussing about this? So the owl is asking, who is he talking about? And the crow replies, the lion. Oh yes, the lion. But what happened? Maybe this owl has got some hearing problem. It was not able to hear properly. So that is why it's asking again, what happened? The crow replies, the lion killed the jackal. And the owl says, the lion killed. But what? And the crow replies, the jackal. So as I said, maybe it has a hearing problem. Again it has the jackal. And the crow gets finally irritation, and then it shouts, yes, you deaf fellow. See, this was the conversation between the owl and the crow. And what we have to do here is, we have got some sentences even in the conversation and also in the announcement. Yes or no? So here we have got some sentences here and also here. So can we identify the subject, object and predicate in the monkey's announcement? Can we, children? So if you remember in the earlier class, that is yesterday's class, so we have discussed about the subject and object. We didn't talk about the predicate, but we have discussed about the subject, object, and one more thing is verb. If you remember, in this sentence of monkey's announcement, about whom we are talking? We are talking about the lion, and the lion becomes the subject. And what is the object? The jackal. Why? Because the jackal has received the action from the subject, that is the lion. What did the lion did? The lion killed. Killed becomes the verb, that is the action word. So the lion killed the jackal. So the lion becomes the subject, jackal becomes the object. And what is the predicate? We are going to learn in the next slides. Okay, see here, we'll look at some more sentences. The boy eats the mango. What is it? The boy eats the mango. Here boy is the subject, eats is the action or verb, and mango is the object. So what is this subject, object and verb? So these three combinedly becomes a sentence. Yes or no? So the subject is the doer of the action. Like, who is the subject? It is the doer. It is something. The subject is doing something. So that is why we call the subject as the doer. Okay. The subject is the doer of the action. Then it may be a noun or a pronoun. If you see, children, the boy, if you, our subject is here the boy, and what did we say? We said that a subject may be a noun or a pronoun. So what is a noun, children? Did you learn in your previous classes? Yes, so a noun is a naming word. A noun is a naming word. So we may name a person, we may name a thing, we may name an animal, and we may name a place. So that is a noun. And what is a pronoun? So a pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun. Like we, or else we can use instead of noun. We can use a word instead of a noun. Like suppose here the boy. Our subject is the boy. And this is a noun. And if we want to use this subject as a pronoun for the boy, then what we will use? We will use he. Yes or no? We will use he for a boy. If it was a girl, then we will use she. Like that. So, a subject may be a noun or a pronoun. So, so the boy is the subject here, and then eats is the action or a verb. Action in the sense like a work or so doing some work. Okay, and mango is the object. So here the object is the bearer of the action. So what is this subject doing? It is doing something. It is doing something. What it is? It is eating the mango. The boy is eating the mango. So mango becomes the object. Why? Because it is the bearer of the action. This eats becomes our action, that is verb. So this action is received by this mango, that is mango is been eaten. That is why mango becomes the object. Okay, understood children? It may be a noun or a pronoun. As like subject, even an object can be a noun or a pronoun. So as we said, a noun is a naming word and a pronoun is a word which is used in the place of a noun. So now we'll see how can we divide a sentence into a subject and a predicate. So earlier we divided a sentence into three parts, that is subject, verb and object. Now we'll do it in two parts, that is subject and predicate. How is this done? The subject tells you who or what the sentence is about. The rest of the sentence, including the verb, is the predicate. So already we have discussed that what is the subject? The subject is going to tell about whom we are talking or about what we are talking. Who and what. And the rest of the sentence, it is going to be called as the predicate, in which we have the verb. So what is a predicate? The rest of the sentence, including the verb, is the predicate. So example here, we have got a sentence. The boy eats the mango. The boy eats the mango. So we are talking about whom? We are talking about the boy. What is he doing? He is eating the mango. So what will be the subject and what will be the predicate here? So the boy will become the subject and eats the mango will become the predicate. Why? Because here we have got eats. Eats, what does eats represent? It is a verb. And what we have learnt, the rest of the sentence including the verb is the predicate, because the sentence in which the verb is included becomes the predicate. So that is why this sentence, this part of the sentence, it's not the complete sentence, this part of the sentence becomes the predicate. Okay children, understood? So we'll see what is the subject and the predicate once again. The subject tells you who or what the sentence is about, and the rest of the sentence including the verb is the predicate. So here the boy is the subject and the rest of the sentence where the verb is including, that is eats, it becomes the predicate. So we'll see some more sentences where we have to underline the sentence, underline the subject in the sentences. So here we have got a sentence. The first one, the snake caught the frog. The snake caught the frog. About what we are talking here in this sentence, about whom we are talking? We are talking about the snake. So that is why this becomes the subject. What did it do? It is catching the frog. It caught the frog. The snake caught the frog. So we are talking about the snake. So that is why the snake is the subject. So second sentence, she is eating an ice cream. So who is eating an ice cream? She. She is eating an ice cream. We are talking about a girl. We are talking about a girl. And so we are calling her as she here. And this she is a pronoun. This she is a pronoun because instead of noun we are naming her as she. That is why this she is called as pronoun. So whereas if you go for this first sentence, the snake, this is a noun. So we are directly talking about the snake. We are naming the snake, calling it as the snake, so that it becomes a noun. When you go for the second sentence, instead of naming a girl, we are just calling her as she. So that is why this becomes a pronoun and this is our subject. She is the subject. And we'll go for the third sentence. So what is it? The children are singing rhymes. So the children. We are talking about the children. This is our subject. And what is this children? Whether it is a noun or a pronoun? Can somebody guess? So this is a noun. Children is a noun. Understood? So the children are singing rhymes. Now the fourth sentence. Basanti is wearing a sari. Basanti is a lady. So Basanti is wearing a sari is the name of a lady. Basanti is the name of the lady and we are giving the name of the lady here. So that is why this Basanti becomes a noun, and because we are talking about this Basanti, we are making it as our subject. So this is our subject and it is a noun. Okay. So we'll go for the fifth sentence. So what is it? I bought a jacket. About whom we are talking? We are talking about ourselves. That is I. I bought a jacket. And this I again is our subject. And it is also a noun. Okay children? So about whom we are talking becomes the subject. And here in these sentences we had a discussion about the snake, about a girl, about the children, about a lady and about ourselves. So that is why these all nouns and pronouns become the. So let us look again some other sentences children. So we'll just try to underline the object in each of the sentences given here. So we'll just find out the object. And here is the first sentence. The car crashed into the tree. Into a tree. So what will be the object here? So as we learnt earlier, so we'll just see what is the subject here first. So what will be the subject here? Any guesses, children? Yes, the car, because we are talking about the car here. So the car is the subject. What happened to the car? It crashed. It had a small accident and it crashed into a tree. And crashed becomes a verb here. The car is the subject. Crashed is the verb. And where did it crash? How did it crash? It crashed into a tree. That becomes, a tree becomes the object, because this tree has received the action. So that is why tree becomes the object. Yes or no? So tree is the object in this sentence. Now we'll see the second sentence. What is it? The students wear uniforms. So children, can you identify the object here? Yes, it is uniforms. How did we do this? Because the students are the subject and wear becomes the verb, and what they are wearing? They are wearing uniforms. So that is why uniforms become the object. So like this, we'll see the third sentence. What is it? Raj gave the money. Who gave the money? Raj gave the money. So we are talking about Raj here. So that's the reason why Raj becomes the subject here. Gave becomes the verb and money becomes the object. Yes or no? So in the third sentence, money is the object. So we'll see the fourth sentence. He was playing the guitar. Who was playing the guitar? He was playing the guitar. So we are talking about he. Again, children, do you remember like what this he is? Is it a noun or a pronoun? It is a pronoun, because we are using this word instead of a name. So that is why he becomes a pronoun. What is it doing? He was, sorry, it is not he is, he was playing the guitar. So here the guitar becomes our object and playing becomes the verb. So this verb action is done on this object, that is guitar. That is why guitar is our object. And we'll see the other sentence. They threw stones. They, somebody. They threw stones. So this they again is our subject. Okay. Threw. What were they doing? They threw becomes our verb and stones becomes our object. Yes or no? Verb action is received by stones. Yes or no? So what did they threw? They throw stones and stones becomes our object. And here they, what is it? Is it a noun or a pronoun, children? Can you guess this? They becomes the pronoun. Okay, so he becomes again a pronoun. Raj is noun. Students, noun. Again car, noun. Okay, so you have to always remember this noun and pronouns, like where we have to call it a noun, how we have to identify a noun and how we have to identify the pronoun. This is also very important for you in further classes. Okay. So we'll go to the next sentences. So what is it? So we have to underline the predicate in each of the sentences. So do you remember what is the predicate, children? What did we learn about the predicate? Like, we have two parts of the sentence. One part is of the subject and the rest of the part is predicate. And in that predicate, the sentence is going to include it with the verb. Yes or no? Verb. So the remaining sentence which is included with the verb is known as a predicate. And here in this sentence, if you see, what is the subject? I. And what I am doing? I am knitting a sweater. So when you take out the subject I separately, am knitting a sweater becomes the predicate. So here, where is the verb? Knitting is the verb. Knitting, we are doing some work, that is knitting. What we are knitting? We are knitting a sweater. So I am knitting a sweater. This part of the sentence becomes the verb. And if you go to the second sentence, understood, children? Like how we have to identify the predicate. So we have to separate the subject and the rest of the sentence in which verb is included is called a predicate. Okay. So if you see here in this sentence, the school closes at 4 o'clock. So we are talking about the school. So the school becomes the subject here, and the predicate closes at 4 o'clock. This sentence becomes a predicate. It's a part of a sentence. It is not a complete sentence. It is a part of the sentence. So this part becomes a predicate. It closes at 4 o'clock. And we'll go to the third one. What is it? Whales live in the oceans. So I think you can easily identify now, children, what is a predicate in this sentence. So we are talking about the whales here. So this becomes our what? A subject. And where is the verb here? Here, live, living. This becomes the verb. And we are going to divide the sentence from here to here as a predicate. Rest of the sentence which is included with the verb is called a predicate. Live in the oceans. Okay, clear, children? Now we'll go with the fourth sentence. What is it? Rani loved to eat chocolates. Who loved to eat chocolates? Rani loved to eat chocolates. Then who is this Rani here? She is our subject. And loved to eat chocolates. This part of the sentence becomes the predicate. And what is the verb here? Any guesses? Eat. What is the verb here? Eat. So in this sentence, verb is included, that is eat. So this part of the sentence becomes the predicate. Okay. Now we'll go for the another sentence. We wrote interesting stories for children. We wrote interesting stories for children. Here we are talking about ourselves, that is we. Then we becomes the subject. What did we do? We wrote interesting stories for children. Wrote becomes the verb, and including that verb, the rest of the sentence, wrote interesting stories for children, becomes the predicate. Okay, this becomes the predicate. Okay, so is it clear, children? So predicate is a sentence which got a verb in it, and it is a part of the sentence after the subject. So after subject, the rest of the sentence in which verb is included is called a predicate. See all this. Okay, clear? So you have to practice some type of sentences at home. Okay, children? Now we'll go to the next sentences. So here, we are asking you to write some of your own sentences. So pairing subject and object. Now are you clear about subject and object? Subject is about whom we are talking. So these are all subjects, like about whom we are talking. And object is, so the action being received. The action being received by the subject. So what type of action? That comes the verb. Okay, this is subject, this is verb, and this is object. Okay, you have to add a verb here. In between you have to add a verb here, and you have to pair these words, and you have to frame your own sentences. For example, subject here I is there, object here books are there, and now we have to frame a sentence with the verb. How can we do? I read books. Can we say it or not? Yes, I read books. It becomes a sentence. People walk on the roads. They bought flowers. She painted pictures. You play football. So these are such type of sentences where you are going to pair with the help of a verb in between. Okay. So you have to do your own work here. So try to pair these two subject and object words with the help of a verb and make it a complete sentence. And one more task for you children here, you have to write down 5 sentences about your favorite color. So everybody have got their favorite colors, favorite sports, favorite food, favorite movies, so many things. You'll have your favorite areas with you. So try to write about your favorite color at least 5 sentences, and try to underline the subject and the predicate in each of the sentences. Okay children, can you do that? So carry on with that work and check like how much you have learnt about this subject and predicate. Okay, so now we'll have some extension regarding this sentence only. So sometimes in a sentence you will be having 2 objects. Like until now we have just learnt that we have a subject in a sentence, we have a subject, we have a verb, and we have an object, and other type of sentence where we have subject and where we have predicate. Okay, now what we are doing is we are telling that in a sentence sometimes we have 2 objects. So if you read this sentence, mother gave Mohan a bicycle. So what is this? Mother gave Mohan a bicycle. And here you have got 2 objects. What are they? Mohan and bicycle. So Mohan and bicycle both are the objects here. So whereas Mohan is the indirect object and bicycle is the direct object. Why bicycle is the direct object? That I am going to tell you. Yes. So why means, say if you have two objects, and the object that refers to a person is called an indirect object. So when we have two objects, the object which refers to a person is called an indirect object. If you see, Mohan is a name of a person. So that is why this Mohan becomes an indirect object. And the object that refers to a thing, that is called as a direct object. So what is bicycle here? Bicycle is a thing. That is why this is a direct object. Clear, student? So sometimes we'll have two objects in a sentence, and if we have two objects and if we have a person, then that person becomes an indirect object, and if you have a thing, then that thing becomes an indirect object. So clear? Okay. Huh? So what we have learnt until now? So we have learnt that, so we have sentence, and in a sentence, so we'll be having a subject, object and verb, and we also have a predicate, and sometimes in a same sentence we may have two objects, and one object may be an indirect object which refers to a person, and the other object, if it is a thing, it is a direct object. Okay, clear, children? Okay, then that's all for today. Take care. Please visit our website www.aimstoday.in, and for further live classes schedules, recorded videos of live sessions and other notifications. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest